Yeah,
and spawning
indeed.
at the 12 o'clock position, which is a position we don't really see on maps in Heart of the Swarm lately, is... sorry, I'll start that again. Spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the teal Zerg player is Banks sLivko. It's Bank.
It is
Definitely
Bank
Bank.
right now anyways. And in the opposing corner we are looking at the yellow Protoss player playing for Team Roxkiss. It is Pomi.
Yep, so it's 1-1 right now, and yeah, right. There's this is the ace match, and I was just going to point out where on the left hand side, you see this natural. See between these two like weird, like there's two boxes in the natural with blue like squares on top of them. If you put a pylon in front of each of those boxes, you can't get anything. Like you can get the probe in the middle there, and nothing else can get back there.
Can you? There is a hole right there. Can you not?
It does look like it, but
you cannot get through that.
I don't think you can. Maybe it's only on the other expansion. It could just be on
holes. I think you put your cannon right there, and then no one can get through there.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be it actually. Yeah.
We see Pool first, which is definitely, especially since we have such a cannon rush friendly map, a very smart decision here from sLivko. So he is definitely playing it very, very cautious. So far we don't have any forges down from Pomi here, so he's probably not going for a cannon rush here. Will eventually now throw on his Nexus, whereas on the other end he's already trying to block the hatchery.
You wouldn't want to get cannon rush, like do that kind of map exploit cannon rush on an ace match on an online tournament. You get a bit of bad name for it. And Pomi has shown today that he doesn't have to. He definitely has the chops to keep up with any of these Zerg players.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is a previous GM player, as we've just been informed, so he's,
yeah, of course
well,
he's previous
I mean,
GM.
we don't even have to debate that, given what he did to Damaga today. It wasn't even a thing.
I told you previously that he was big when basically Wings of Liberty came out. Then it was a little bit more quiet around him. But with the release of Heart of the Swarm, he came back, and he came back strong. He's a very, very good player.
With a
Probably
vengeance.
also one of the favorites to actually take the whole tournament, especially since he's playing like pretty much like a god. So let's see what he can do here against sLivko. Of course, also sLivko playing pretty good here.
sLivko playing like sLivko. I went to school with a guy named sLivko.
That is an interesting
Cool
name.
story, bro.
Anyways, third base going down here for sLivko. To once again mention that name here. Very 7 opening, of course, against a Nexus first expanding Protoss player. Also now Pomi once again trying to get his wall off going here by constructing gateways, and once again maybe also a cybernetics core here.
I like the
to
consistency
seal the hole.
of Pomi's wall offs. He always builds the exact same order of buildings in the exact same way. I really like it. Anyway, so Zergling's coming in to have a bit of a poke, have a bit of a prod, see what's up. Third base coming down very, very quickly for sLivko before the 5-minute mark. That's super fast, even delaying pretty much everything else. But he's got his pull up and he's on 3 bases, so he's in a pretty good position already.
Absolutely, and same as last game, he once again is going for the no gas opener here. Oh, I think actually last game he went for the speedling opening.
Which didn't really work out that well, unfortunately. Gateway research coming up, and Zealots and some...
Yeah,
So,
it was
yeah.
the first game there was no gas. Just to throw that out there. Schmig will be telling untruthful things.
He is
Anyways.
a filthy liar.
Oh, look at that. Oh, is that actually fully... No, that's not fully blocking. Is it? No, no. Never mind, sorry. I thought actually Pomi blocked off his wall off there and went for some crazy weird Stargate play, but he's going for Stargate play nonetheless, but I don't think it will... Well, like, actually he's saturating quite some gas. So it might once again be crazy weird Stargate play out of him.
You can
But
2-base
I don't
Stargate.
think
It's a
so.
pretty effective thing, but given that sLivko's already on 3 bases, I'd be wary just because he pulled off the 3-base Void Ray, because 3-base Void Ray is kind of amazing, but 2-base Void Ray is a very finesse build. You have you know, very, you can't lose units in big engagements, and sLivko could just do what Damaga did and build 50 Hydralisks every 35 seconds and overwhelm him.
Oh, there's a second Stargate and a third Stargate. It is indeed strange, weird Stargate play out of Pomi, and we saw that previously against Damaga, where he pretty much went for only Void Rays. And that is a very, it worked out very well.
Still learning this map, so I've just kind of figured out that there is this third base back here that's blocked by a pile of rocks and then another pile of rocks, but it's seemingly pretty easily defended. It's a really nice third position to expand to there.
Yeah, it is for Protoss. Yeah, indeed, it is for Protoss easily defendable. But for example, as a Zerg player, you want to get your third base as quick as possible usually. So since you pretty much have to destroy 2 pairs of rocks.
I was talking about the Protoss player, so
yeah,
that's
just to throw that out. Just to throw that out.
Yeah, so the fourth base coming down for sLivko. Yeah, so he's definitely going to start pumping out roaches pretty heavily here, I think.
And look at that, once again we see the Hydralisk den here. Or not once again, but this time we see the Hydralisk den here out of sLivko. So he might once again go for that Hydralisk heavy composition we also saw out of the Damaga that really didn't went out all that well. So I'm curious to see if it works out for him here. I think also maybe mixing in a couple of roaches into the mix to be able to deal with those ground units that were previously distracting the Hydralisk could work out here for him.
Yeah, Pomi's basically going the same build he went last time. He does have the Mothership core with a lot of energy there. This time maybe he's going to do that. Use the Void Rays kind of as a shock troop, getting in there and destroying key buildings until he gets to the critical mass. And so our Zerg player hasn't seen this. Yeah, he's not going upgrades yet, which is a little bit scary because the upgrades are what turned the tide for him against Damaga.
Didn't he research +1?
No, not yet. He hasn't.
I thought I saw that on the production tab once.
Might have cancelled it
yeah.
halfway through. But this is what I was talking about earlier. He's only on 2 bases, so you can't support 3 Stargates on 2 bases. So now he's only producing 2 at a time.
Well, now he definitely saw it.
Taking that third is definitely essential, and it's kind of hidden almost. It'd take, you know, it's given that it's a new map, it's going to take a bit of presence of mind to scout that. And here the Void Rays come, just basically having complete control of the air.
Yeah, that's just only a couple of Void Rays. Hydralisks eventually will take out 1 Void Ray though, and now also static defenses come online. But since they are actually armored, they just die off so extremely quickly. Also the Queen doesn't really do too much damage here, and that third base is going down. sLivko going for the counterattack here, definitely a smart move, trying to take down that wall in with the Zerglings, and also now the roaches coming from behind. Immediately we see sentry warp-ins and also Fold Nova charges being activated. But there we go, there's a hole in the wall and the force fields were not enough. Also now the Link stream in. At the same time the Hydralisks are actually dealing rather well with those Voiders, already brought them down to 3. And now the Nexus is being sniped and it's getting terribly low here. Pomi will lose his Nexus there, it is not looking good here for him. Voiders are retreating right now because there were just too many Hydralisks, and also Voiders alone are not too good against them. You need to support ground units as we saw previously.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely got the worst of that exchange. It felt like he was on the, you know, he started off on the right foot going in there, but he waited around to snipe off the one hatchery. And the thing about hatcheries is that they're very cheap, and Zerg will sacrifice them at any given moment. So yeah, I think sLivko definitely got the better of that exchange. He should have brought the Void Rays home a lot quicker, losing the +1 and the Forge and mining time and the Nexus. So sLivko's definitely ahead there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also had an upgrade, very true. Already got +1 for ranged units here, and also will now start +2. Also, of course, getting Hydralisk speed here, and also Wipers and Swarm Hosts. I don't know why you would get
for a bit
Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, that seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, Swarm Hosts are good, but not against Void Rays.
Yes, Swarm Hosts are a fantastic unit. One of the best units in the game, I believe, but they don't shoot up.
Indeed.
That's the major problem. We do have +1 on the way finally for these air units, which I probably would have preferred a little bit earlier. But now, I mean, he's still the Void Ray production is still crazy. He's still pumping out two or three at a time, which is, I mean, Void Rays are a very good unit. Twilight Council coming down now though, but there is an enormous amount of Zerg coming towards this base, and is he going to have enough?
Look at all those Hydras and the one Swarm Host here. That is definitely the key unit right now. Once again, going for the breach here. Once again, we see a couple of Void Rays, 13 here. But we also see only Void Rays here for Pomi. No units supporting them. Actually, of course, Photon Overcharge will push down those Hydras just a little bit. But the wall in will be breached here eventually. And also, there's only enough energy for one more Photon Overcharge. And also, a Hydra abducts another Void Ray here. Very, very smart play by sLivko. He will eventually slowly but steadily whittle down those Void Ray numbers here.
Pomi is extremely smart with the way he uses his Void Rays. As those Hydras came in, he pulled them up onto the high ground so that he could come in from one side and melt them from an angle, which is an incredibly important maneuver to do. He's going to lose this forge as well. This is disastrous, losing all of these buildings. The supply is hugely in sLivko's favor. And so,
Hydralists are now pushing forward with the +2 upgrades. They're actually dealing a lot of damage, but still, Pomi is doing a very great job at maneuvering those Void Rays properly to be able to avoid most of the damage that the Hydras actually could put out. Very, very smart play, of course, more in production. But I love the fact that he had that one wiper. I think if he could maybe get a couple more of them and just abduct all the Void Rays, or most of them, I think that is what would work out in this situation.
They're so expensive that they make it worth it. Worth every yoink of a Void Ray is definitely worth it. I think that Formos might have been a fake, like trying to get him to attack Colossus or something.
Yeah,
misclick maybe. Misclick maybe, but there's a possibility it wasn't. That's all we're gonna worry about.
Anyways,
making
more
the player
Wipers
feel
and
better about
production.
himself.
Also, Hydras are once again pushing forward. They're trying to take out the defenses and also maybe even the Nexus. That's just so many Hydralists, and also now the Void Rays are in a not so good position. Viper will eventually get taken out here. But look at the DPS of the Hydralists, but the Void Rays just absolutely murdering everything. Probes are now being pulled, but the Void Rays, look at them.
The Guardian Shield's definitely made a huge difference there. I believe it covers air units.
It does, yeah.
Anything, basically, it's kind of like a circle on the ground, and anything in that circle will be protected. And Hydras have a low damage, high rate of fire, so against Guardian Shield is amazing against
well, yeah,
that
if you
sort
call
of thing.
14 low damage, but still, anyways. Slowly but steadily, actually, those Hydralisk numbers are getting lower and lower here for sLivko. Still not looking good, but he pretty much has full map control here. Once again, pushing forward, trying to take out as many Void Rays as possible. And now it's actually working out him for here. Void Rays are slowly but steadily going down. Also now Lings are streaming into the natural here. The Void Rays are not enough anymore. Units are being warped in, but I don't think it will be enough here. The Hydras will break.
3 more Void Rays joining the fray though. This is going to get very close. I think the Void Rays are going to get the better of this. With those, with that one probe joining the fight, obviously going to change the outcome of that battle. But sLivko has been macroing up behind this. That's the difference.
Yeah.
While Pomi has been pumping all of his resources
Look at that. Also
into
the next
just staying alive.
with the multiple coin production gets taken out right now. It is not looking good for the Yellow Protoss player here. More and more Hydralists are being produced, and also a couple of Lings. Eventually, now we see Storm for Pomi, so that could change things around very dramatically. If he actually could land good Storms, that definitely could change the outcome of any fight. There's a small lag. I think it was once again Schmigel. Wasn't you?
Yeah, definitely. And another engagement here, but the Hydras this time are focusing their fire on the Void Rays, while now switching to the probes. But every time the Void Rays engage, they do focus fire them down, and that has made all the difference. And that is the difference that we GG. Well, single G coming down from Pomi, and I think it was just maybe he didn't know where he was going. Maybe he thought he was going to get Ling rushed, and he didn't take the third because he was going for that 3 base Void Ray production, which is incredibly powerful.